guys, I'm back. Just spent the morning smashing out all these tyres, getting them out, or out off the rims. And I want to get cracking on this power steering setup. So this is off the RBM3. This one is actually off the Sony, and I used to run a Gilmer setup. Gilmer, is that the word? I think it is. On the Sony. And I had this made, I can't remember the name of the company, but there was a mob in New Zealand. I don't know if it was North or South Island, but I was having heaps of dramas with power steering belts and whatnot. And I, must have had a bit of a whinge session on the old socials. And they hit me up and they said, look, we'll be able to help you out. So I sent everything over to them. They modified everything. They put a freaking pulley on my balancer. And I think it cost me a fair bit. Not like, oh, maybe it was a little bit. Maybe it was like $1,200. So it was a little bit, but I didn't give a I did not care. I just wanted these power steering belts to stop coming off. So it worked, but the balancer I sent him was an old balancer. I thought it was kind of new. And the rubber on the balancer sheared off. So I was going up Mount Alma, everything cut out, and pulled over, and my balancer was rolling back down the hill. So damaged the radiator, everything. And yeah, so this is the only good thing I got left out of that. So what I want to do is try and figure out how I can make basically two of them. They're kind of pretty similar already. The only thing that's different is the fact that that is not sitting out far enough, like this one. So it's either I'll make two of these, identical, like obviously weld one of these fittings onto here, just so I've got a complete replacement ready to go on the RBM3. Because it's what I really need to start sorting out is spares, stuff that I can just go bang bang, it's fixed, get it back going again, instead of worrying about needing a press and pressing this off, pressing that off, and getting things ready. Just want to be on it. But the good thing is this is obviously still working fine. It's just, leaking out of my dodgy seal up job around here. I must have done that on the car. So I'm just gonna take all this apart, clean it. I might even pull the back cover off and see how keen I get. Just make sure it's all good. I was actually worried that it was coming out of the bearing in there, but it's not. It's all good. She gold. And then what we'll do is have a decent once over on this bad boy too. But it's all good. Just quickly, guys, the giveaway prizes go to Unlock Daily. They were pretty much the only ones that shared a video. So if you guys did share a video, you obviously didn't make it public. It must have still been private, so I wasn't able to see it. Or only one person shared a video. But anyway, I'm going to hand deliver these when I head off to New Zealand. So congrats, buddy. Thanks again. Okay, I failed. I'm sorry. I stripped this down, didn't film it. Checked all the stuff in the back of it. Really should have filmed it, but I didn't. Anyway, found a heap of issues. God, that really looks like it's on the piss, that bolt. Anyway, I was going to swap them out and just put this pulley setup on this one, but it's not going to work because I reckon they've made a new shaft for that one, and this whole unit here bottoms out. It's got like a thing so you can't push it too far, but I feel like I got to the leak because this was a bit ghetto. This is obviously fabricated to suit the AN line fitting, and it's a bit ghetto under there. So I've re-siliconed it. Not that it should be silicon, because the bolt holes have been sort of bored out to make this fit, because I think normally this sits 180 degrees the other way. So it's a bit of it's messy. Anyway, I've got to line the pulley back up with the dry sump system, and I think I'm just going to stick to what it is. This is actually warped a little bit. You can see, no, you can't really see, but in there the pulley's actually gone forward a little bit, so I might even put new grub screws in and just make sure she's all good. So a bit of a fast forward, I'm making an absolute mess here. I found a little crack on the dry sump bracket. So I've got that bad boy up there. I've just welded it back together, gave it a lack of paint. It's drying, so then I'll put all that back together. Also checked the timing belt. It was a little bit loose, so I've just tightened it up a little bit, not crazy amount. Check everything over, it's all good in here. Replaced a couple of these threads because they're a bit hairy going. So just ripped a second-hand brand new one out of another pump. Realigned all the pulleys. You can't tell now because I've only got one on here. But yeah, I redid the dry sump one, and that's where I realised that this wasn't dead in line with the rest, like the crank and the power steering one. So I'm like, what's going on there? And then I went to move it, and the whole thing just was twisting. I'm like, what the hell? So there was a broken weld on it. So now it should be all sweet. Sorry guys, so I stopped recording. So gearbox is back on, and I should have actually went over the whole clutch system and how you measure it, but I'm gonna try and do it on here. This isn't gonna work, hang on. This is the only thing I can draw on. Is the head gasket for a new build. Okay, so you have the face of your engine, like the block. So that's the block. RB. The only one. Yeah. Clutch goes on here, right? And you got obviously your two discs inside there. So that's your clutch. But then looking on the inside of that is where the fingers are. So the fingers of the pressure plate are sort of recessed in past this line. So anyway, long story short, you measure from the block to the front of the plate, measure that distance, and then you measure from the front of the plate to where the fingers are sitting. So they're usually about there. If that's all in line. I really hope you guys are understanding this. So anyway, this here equaled, what was it, 85 millimeter, and then from the pressure plate to the fingers it was 9mm. So you take 9 from 85, which is 76mm. So that's how far your fingers are sticking out from the block, right? So then you got your G-force, gearbox, GSR, gearbox, big shifter. So that's a gearbox, right? So now this is the bell housing. So now you got to measure. So we're going to pretend this is a see-through bell housing. You have your hydraulic slave, which everyone hates, and you have your input shaft, which doesn't look like that at all. So now you have to measure from the face of your bell housing to where the thrust bearing sits, like the hydraulic release bearing sits, which is usually, roughly there. So you got to measure that distance now. So 2 straight rulers. I've explained this on heaps of videos before. So if you need to go back, just look at G-force video up of what I've done. And that distance was 79mm. So 79mm from the bell housing to there. And the fingers, I had to adjust them. I took a couple of shims out, got that down to 76. So I have a total of 3mm in between the fingers and that hydraulic slave, which is on the edge of the absolute minimum gap. So as the clutch wears, that's going to get closer. And that is why there was so much clutch dust and everything in there, because the hydraulic has been sitting on the fingers for the last couple of events. The thrust bearing. So yeah, that is now perfect. It's all buttoned up. Gearbox is on. I've just taken some weight off of it because I can't sit that engine on the tyre because all the fittings underneath, the dry sump fittings, and all that. So now I just got to wait for the beamer to get back so I can shoehorn it all back in. And hopefully we get that back this week. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen this week, definitely. And in other news, we still don't have the freaking tail shaft for the Sony. I don't know what's going on down there. I don't know if he's crook, but yeah, we just wait. And now I'm just going to clean stuff up. This is a pretty random video, and yeah, there's heaps of things I need to tell you guys about, but I just can't quite yet. And it's starting to get to me because I don't want to hold anything back. But there's heaps of crap happening, and this will be my last ever week working in the wine industry. And I hope to not return. Alright, we'll leave it on that. See you guys.
Bye!